Music there from the Bee Gees and Night Fever at just before 10 on Saturday morning. Good morning, Faye Dickett here with you until midday. It's Saturday Surgery, and I'm very pleased to welcome into the house, into the studio, my doctor in the house, acupuncturist Richard Gibbons, here to take your calls this morning. If perhaps you've thought about acupuncture, you've heard of it, or you've experienced it, and just like to put a question to him, please do. The lines are open now. You can phone on 0845 900 5949. That's 0845 900 5949. Of course, you can get texting on 81333. Just make sure you start your text message with the word Faye, or you can drop us a line, faye.dickett@bbc.co.uk. I'm very pleased to welcome Richard in the studio. Good morning to you, Richard.
Good morning, Faye.
This is a fascinating journey, how you stumbled across acupuncture, and it quite literally was a journey, wasn't it?
It was exactly that, yeah. I was planning to study chiropractic, and before I started my studies doing that, I was in Australia and I was travelling around, and I needed to travel about 4 hours to Early Beach, and I was offered a lift, and it turned out that the person that was giving me a lift was an acupuncturist. I'd never met him before. And so we had complementary medicine as a common interest, and by the end of that 4-hour journey, I was so fascinated by it, I really had started to think about, a complete change of direction. And so then I had some treatment and read some books and met some acupuncturists, and
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, how amazing! Just to imagine if someone else had given you that lift. You don't want to dwell on these things too much, but you could have been a different person. You could have been an astronaut. Brilliant journey, really insightful. Was there anything that you were suffering yourself that sort of prompted you to look into it?
Yeah, there was. I get migraine, and that's been something that I've been putting up with for a long time. And I found that acupuncture was a really effective way of reducing the frequency and the intensity of those attacks. So, that in itself was a good seller for me. That convinced me.
I mean, acupuncture, it's pins or needles, isn't it? Whichever way you want to look at it.
Yes, right.
How exactly does that work?
Well, now there's a question. It depends who you ask, really. If you'd asked a Western educated person a while ago, they would have said that, this is placebo effect, and that's it, and all about it. An acupuncturist would have said, no, we're treating energy within the body, and this releases blockages that cause pain and create depression and aggressive moods or sleep disturbances, that kind of thing. If you'd asked a scientist, they would have said that this is all done by endorphins, which of course are the body's natural pain-relieving substances, which we naturally produce when we're under stress or pain, and that they help with people's moods, and they give you a feel-good factor.
I was going to say, it's endorphins that are released after you exercise, isn't it?
That's right. It's what gets you through the pain barrier.
Yeah.
Yes. So, although they don't make you numb, they make you less aware of pain and much more comfortable and cheerful and chirpy at the end of it.
But on your own personal level, how do you explain it? How do you quantify it?
Well, for me, it's constantly shifting. That's the truth. I've been doing this for 15 years, and just recently, I can't ignore the science. Just recently, scientists have discovered that there's a substance called adenosine, which is produced when you treat somebody or an animal with acupuncture, because it works just as well for animals. And adenosine not only reduces pain, so there's two pain-relieving ingredients. We've got endorphins and we've got adenosine, but it also modulates the way people sleep, which explains why people with insomnia can be treated with acupuncture to great effect. And the other thing it does is reduce inflammation, which is something that endorphins don't do. So that's how we can enable people to be more mobile who've otherwise been, restricted with arthritis and things like that.
Is there something would there be a typical thing that people approach you with for acupuncture?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so, no. People come for so many things. I made a list of the things that people had come to me with in the last fortnight, just because I thought you might want to know.
Very good. We like it when people do their homework.
It is going to sound like a list, but there we are. So in no particular order, I've seen people in this last fortnight with osteoarthritis, with sinusitis, depression, ME, sciatica, hot flushes, acute back pain, frozen shoulder, migraine, allergies, headaches of other sorts, morning sickness, insomnia, fertility problems, that's been in the news a lot recently, chronic back pain, and anxiety.
It's quite a list. I mean, if you're listening now and you're thinking, actually, I suffer with, sinusitis, or I'm suffering with depression, or I know someone who's tried every trick in the book, but nothing seems to be shifting it, and you'd like to get in contact or have more information, please do get in contact now. Richard Gibbons is here. He's our doctor in the house, an acupuncturist, and would love to hear from you, here to take your questions. The lines are open. It's 0845 905 949. That's 0845 905 949. Of course, you can text on 81333, 81333. Just make sure you start your text message with the word Faye, and that's F-A-Y-E. Or if you like, you can always drop me a line, faye.dickett@bbc.co.uk, faye.dickett@bbc.co.uk. I know someone actually who had tried everything there was, and then was suffering with sciatica, and actually was acupuncture that managed to shift that one, because that's a really debilitating, or can be debilitating, can't it? Yeah.
It can be awful. It's the biggest nerve in the body, the sciatic nerve, and the pain that people can go through with it can be excruciating and can go on for a very long time. So yeah, it's lovely to treat.
Okay, right. Well, we'll hear more about some of those treatments, maybe some of the good news stories that you can share with us shortly. It's Duffy and Warwick Avenue. Forgive me, I'm having a blonde moment off air, so I'm laughing to myself here. It's the Saturday Surgery. Faye Dicker here with you until midday. And with me here in the studio is my doctor in the house, acupuncturist Richard Gibbons, here to take your calls or questions, funnily enough, on acupuncture. Lines are open, 81333. Start the message with the word Faye. Pick up the phones or give us a ring on 0845 905 949. Or, of course, you can always drop us a line, faye.dickett@bbc.co.uk. We were just chatting off there, Richard, about a fascinating case that you took on with a woman who was suffering with psoriasis, wasn't she?
That's right. She had a really debilitating form of psoriasis, and it was affecting both her feet, and they'd been splitting open and cracking and bleeding for a long time, for years, and she'd gone down the medical route and been prescribed all the usual medications, and none of those had worked. And she'd got to the point where the only thing that could be recommended to her that would successfully treat this condition was going to put her liver and her kidneys at risk, and also her future fertility. And she came along very distressed, as you can imagine, and within a month of weekly treatment, she had her feet were beyond recognition. You wouldn't believe it was the same woman, and she continued having treatment for. Well, the nice ending to this story is she continued having treatment right up to the point where she became pregnant.
Oh, wow.
And she's recently had a baby. Actually, she carried on having some treatment throughout her pregnancy as well. But
and did that help ease, any pregnancy?
Yeah, it's great for supporting pregnancy. It's good for morning sickness and back pain that sometimes comes with pregnancy. So yeah, it's very supportive.
That's a fabulous story. That really is delightful. And to think that, the alternative was quite a severe option, really.
It could have been a devastating result for her, yeah.
How does acupuncture sort of sit alongside Western medicine?
Well, increasingly, very comfortably, I work in a couple of doctors' surgeries. I work at Hannam Surgery and at Almondsbury Surgery. I've been in those two surgeries for about 10 years, and doctors are increasingly comfortable to recommend and refer, as are the physios that work there. So there doesn't seem to be any conflict there.
Okay. And the photos I've sometimes seen of acupuncture, it looks like there's almost sort of little blocks of herbs or something burning. Is that right?
Yes,
what is
right.
that?
Well, it is a herb. It's called moxa, and it's as old or older perhaps even than acupuncture, and it's a way of getting heat directly to a point. So you can use a technique called warming needle, where you would have some moxa on the end of the needle, and that would transmit some heat, some warmth into the body to an area where perhaps the blood isn't flowing sufficiently. And you can also use moxa on painful joints by just passing something that looks rather like a large cigar, glowing at the end, around these tender points. And sometimes we give patients these moxa rolls to take home, and then they can continue the treatment at home without needing to keep coming in for treatment.
Great, that's a really wonderful answer. I've got many questions to ask you, as I'm sure lots of people have as well. And if you'd like to get in contact with Richard, please do.
Travel. BBC Radio Bristol. Saturday on BBC Radio Bristol.
It's the Saturday Surgery, 25 minutes to 11 then on Saturday morning. It's the Saturday Surgery. Faye here with you till midday, and with me here is the doctor in the house, Richard Gibbons. He's our acupuncturist, here to just tell us, well, a bit more about acupuncture and how it can help you. And now joined on the phone by Claire, and she's phoning in from Bradley Stoke. And Claire, I understand that Richard's actually treated you in the past, hasn't he?
Yes, that's right.
And good morning, first of all. It's lovely to speak to you. It was hay fever you were suffering with, wasn't it?
It was, yes. Something that's every day that quite a lot of people suffer from, yes.
And was that something you'd had from childhood, or just come along later in adulthood?
Yeah, it came along later, so it was a bit of a surprise, really.
And now take me through it then. Presumably you were trying the regular over-the-counter stuff.
Yeah, so there's a number of things really that I used, the eye drops and the nasal sprays and the antihistamine, but none of them really helped an awful lot. My main problem was with my eyes, itchy eyes, because I like to wear contact lenses, and I was probably about my early 20s at the time and wanted to go out in the evening and wear my contact lenses, not my glasses.
You're a girl after my own heart. I have to quickly interject here.
That's okay. And the drops you had to use on your eyes, you couldn't use them with contact lenses in, so that didn't really help me. I was quite frustrated in my early 20s that I had to suffer, really.
And it is frustrating. I mean, Claire, I've only ever had hay fever once, and it was one summer, most peculiar. It just popped up as an adult. And like you, I'm not a fan of having to wear my glasses out and want to wear your contacts, and that is frustrating, isn't it?
It was very frustrating, and especially as you suffer more on a morning and an evening as well with hay fever. So I just used to have to end up a bit of a mess with horrible puffy, watery, sticky eyes as well. Yes, it's not very pleasant. It's quite underestimated as well, like how people do suffer quite badly from it.
So what prompted you at this stage then? What did your doctor do?
To be honest, I didn't really go back to my doctor because it was just quite limited really to what they can do. Obviously, if you have to have drops to help you, and you just simply couldn't wear my glasses, so it was just out of that frustration. And I'd heard about acupuncture and how it could help. Just look for an alternative remedy, really.
Now, Richard, when I'm just inviting him in on this, Claire, when Claire came along and she said she was suffering with